unfortunately, not long after that was when there was that big economic crisis in 2008.
2008, yeah.
Yeah, and so like I remember all of a sudden pitching on jobs against like really big American directors. So like
Oh, do you remember any names? Do you remember any names?
I don't remember them perfectly, but they were like I
Okay.
remember all of a sudden pitching on these projects where it would be like me and like other Canadian directors, and then all of a sudden it's like these like really like kind of like really well established like American directors pitch because like um they were all of a sudden taking work. So like people who were like new like me and developing and like were relying on these projects to develop and stuff like that. They didn't they weren't they were now taking those jobs. So it was like weird. Like my whole generation, like there's most of us got like a big delay because of
Mhm.
that crisis. So like it really slowed things down for me quite a bit. And so like because of that, I ended up just directing a lot more focus into trying to make a film. You know what I mean? Because like at the same time, like I'd never lost that side of things, like the narrative side of things. Like I knew I wanted to make films and do things like that too. So I'd gotten some development money from Telefilm for writing a feature that I was developing, and then at the same time, I started working on another script for what ended up becoming Webdultery, which is something we could do like Robert Rodriguez style for like like I think we made it for $25,000-$30,000.
Hmm.
So once things slowed down there, like so our mutual friend Muzafar and I, like we kind of committed to like making Webdultery because Bad Paper wasn't getting the traction we were hoping for at the time.
Yeah, so Bad Paper is another script you were developing.
Yeah, so
And
that's the script. We
yeah.
had gotten money. We had gotten money from Telefilm and Harold
Mhm.
Greenberg at the
Mhm.
time, and I spent a lot of time on that script.
Yeah, sorry, these are two government or charitable funds where people can pitch ideas and get funding for them. Harold Greenberg and Telefilm. So yeah.
Harold Greenberg doesn't exist anymore, I don't think, but Telefilm still very much does. Like that's the primary source of feature film funding in Canada.
That's the government funding. Yeah.
Yeah, they are the primary source. Like I saw the list of like the big budget funding this year, and I think Cronenberg was on there. Like I think
Which one? The younger or older?
no, the older David Cronenberg. Like
Oh, David Crow. Okay. All
I
right.
think he still gets money from Telefilm. Like
Oh, dude, there's been people. Seth Rogen has gotten money.
yeah.
Guys in Hollywood, yeah, they'll definitely take advantage of it.
Oh yeah, no, like he was on there. Who else? There was like another like really big name. I can't remember. But
Mhm.
anyway, David Cronenberg was on there. So yeah, that's who Telefilm is. Um, but that script I was working on at the time, Bad Paper, it just unfortunately wasn't, for a variety of very strange reasons. Those are side stories I can tell you later that are pretty
Mhm.
funny. But it wasn't moving. So Muzafar and I, we were like, man, we really want to make a feature and we can do this. So we written Webdultery, and Webdultery was small enough that it could be made like with very little, and we just committed to doing it. We set up a business, like a proper business. Like we went to lawyers, got it incorporated and everything, and we set up an investment structure with people, where we told people like, hey, if you invest in the movie, you know what I mean, like we'll any like basically any money that comes back into the movie when it's made, like we'll redistribute it back out to you, like based on the percentage that you put in, like in terms of
Mhm.
I'm sorry, I'm not the best at explaining this, but like we set up like a proper, very fair structure with people like to invest. So we basically went to almost everyone we knew and we're like, hey, would you be willing to like give us a little money? And we were upfront with people. We're like, only invest what you're comfortable never getting back, because there's a high chance you'll never get any money back.
That's a great pitch. That's a really great pitch.
We were up, man, because we were kind of friends and family.
Yeah, I know. No, but it's great you're honest like that because that's true. Yeah.
And and so man, tons of people gave us money. It was incredible. Like so many friends and family, like, but no one gave us like a shitload of money. You know what I mean? Like everyone gave us all manageable amounts. That's why I wasn't like feeling like people's livelihoods were on the hook, but like a lot of people invested and donated quite a bit. And for people who we couldn't pay like full rates, like for example, once we got into post, we had like no money left for post. Like so we told people like, rather than paying you, we'll treat what we would pay you as like a cash investment in the film. So they actually all ended up getting money back. I don't think they got all the money, but they ended up getting money back that way. And yeah, we made the movie, man. And it was like, we made it like, through the actors union and everything. And it was, one of the best experiences of my life, to be honest with you. Like I loved it. Like, I mean, the movie now, I can barely look at the movie now because I'm a totally different person, much more experienced director too. but we got the movie made around that time, like when things had kind of slowed down a little on the commercial side of things. So we made the film, got it out there. We sold it even, which is great. Like the movie actually made more money than it cost.
Do you remember how much you sold it for?
We sold it for the initial sale because it still to this day gets money trickling in, like very small amounts. It basically pays its taxes now. It's the money that comes in for. Although I don't know, I have to check on the news. That may have stopped as of this year. This year may have been the year where it finally stopped covering it because it's been a while. But I think I'd have to double check. I think we sold it for like it wasn't a lot. It was like I think around like 20 in that zone.
Oh, did you say the budget was 25?
Yeah, it was about 25, 30. But so this is where I'm saying the movie made, we didn't get the money, but the movie itself made, like the distributors made more.
Oh, okay.
It was, right? So that was one of those learning experiences too. Like in retrospect, we should have sold it in Canada ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because
so you had some kind of sales agent selling it for
we
you?
did. We had a sales rep. We have a distributor in Canada who paid us, and they gave us money. Like, so it was good. So we were actually able to pay people back. So a lot of people got paid. We just didn't get all the money back because of it. You know what I'm saying? Like over time,
so they paid you for the rights to sell it, and then they parlayed those rights and sold it for more. I guess they middlemaned.
Of course, yeah, because they had all these direct connections. So, and like the movie ended up like in Canada everywhere. Like it was everywhere. And then we got a different sales agent for the US. So it was out in the US, and it played in like a bunch of countries internationally too. Like I think it was like in Russia, Japan, Australia, all over, man. It was good, man. Like I mean, it was on Netflix for stretches too, which was super cool.
Okay.
And then it's just, again, me and Musafar not really knowing much about the business of it, right? Like, it took us a long time to track all the money back down, get it back, get it fairly. Because that stuff is other set of skills to do that on its own. And so I'd have to check with him to be the total, but like, yeah, there's been money coming in from it for a long time. But like, had we sold it ourselves, because that was actually our initial goal, was to make it for that amount, because we knew we could probably sell it in Canada ourselves, even to just a pay TV network, and get all the money back. But we got like lured by we'll get it here for you. We'll get it here for you. Get it here for you. And then they did get it everywhere for us, but like it actually ended up resulting in a little less money. But either way, like there was no issues money-wise with that movie, which is a good thing. You know what I mean? We were never like, oh shit, we're poor because of this. Like that didn't happen, which is great.